Greetings everyone, and welcome to Animated Night in the Dojo. Today's featured show, Hazbin Hotel, Season 2.
Yep, Hazbin Hotel, Season 2, Episode 5. Welcome back to the dojo. I'm Ryu. That's Age. We're back for more Animated Night in the Dojo. And, well, we've got a week to think about this stuff, and I'm still firmly in the camp of F Amazon for releasing this at midnight. It's so profoundly stupid. Oh, I'm over it. But we only have to do this one more time. So we got this week and next week. And we're good. So,
until next season.
Yeah. Bummer that this isn't like a full core, like 12 episodes, but, you know, whatever. What are you going to do? The runtime is about 10 episodes worth, but still. We had the Alistair, whatever he's doing, making that deal with Vox and stuff like that at the end of last week. We talked pretty much everything out that we needed to. I have something to say about Sarah's song at the end of the season that me and Age talked about, since that's been a big talking point, but I kind of want to see where this goes in case they get into that anymore. But still got half the season left, obviously. I don't really want to reiterate everything we've talked about, and there's not really anything we can say as far as I'm concerned going into this episode anyway. So I got nothing. Last week was a big hazy blur, and I think I mixed up the difference between Elysium and Elysian. I remember that.
Yeah.
Elysian is an adjective that comes from the Elysium fields, but whatever.
It's an adjective in reference to the Elysium fields, but yes, Elysian and Elysium are two different things.
Yeah. That I remember. Can correct myself on that one, but yeah.
Yeah, the only thing I really have to say going into this that isn't just total speculation that I'm fairly certain about is rewatching the previous episodes and thinking about it over the last week. I'm pretty sure I know what Alistair's plan is.
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's kind of hard to pick up on it in the moment, but he's playing Lucifer against Vox. Basically, he's he's framed it so that no one really knows the context of why him and Vox were fighting, but now Husk and Nifty, all they know is him and Vox were in a fight. He started losing, and then he made a deal with Vox to save them and Charlie. So so the idea is Husk and Nifty are probably going to go back to the hotel, get Charlie to come do something about it, which in turn is going to also get Lucifer to come do something about it.
Right. Well, Charlie already saw that Vox was captured because she was there at the studio or whatever when they brought him in.
Alistair.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, the whole thing. Well, once again, the whole thing is like Nifty and he did it knowing that Nifty and Husker would come to help, and that since they were there, they will be able to have the freaking basically witness testimony of like, yeah, no, he got captured because he was losing and he made a deal to get Vox to leave Charlie in the hotel alone.
Yeah. So, anyway, as it stands, there was only one ad to get through after the pre-roll, so I got through that. So we won't have to do any kind of anything again this week, so I got that set up, because once again, I'm not giving Amazon more money. Yeah, what's an extra $36 a year to not get ads in here?
To also elaborate on that, after rewatching it, his whole like scheming and coming up with the plan our initial response was, oh, he's scheming of how he's going to get out of doing work for Rosie, but no, like, his whole thing is figuring out how to resolve the situation himself, because Rosie won't help him. So, like, his plan is to try to resolve the whole Vox situation, not necessarily to get out of work with Rosie.
Yeah. So, anyway, we're going to push some buttons and get going here. So, people on Patreon, we'll see you on the other side of the edit for the timer stuff, and people on YouTube side of the edit for the discussion and review. And if you're looking for either and or both, they're in their respective places on YouTube, Patreon. So, yeah, the links are in the usual places. So, we're going to push some buttons and get going. So, here goes something. Well, alrighty then, there you have it. I will say one of the major parts of this episode that I actually did enjoy with the rest of it. Well, let's just start off by saying this episode was like the epitome of a run-on sentence. It just, if you look at it, nothing really happened here. The biggest thing that happened, in my opinion, was Alistair starting to sow discontent. And we only got that for like a minute, backstage with the hilarious sign that I want to get a copy of and put it up.
Yeah, we got like that minute at the beginning of Fox going and recruiting the other overlords. Then we got this little skit here. Then we got Alistair sowing content, getting ready for the rally, and the rest of the episode was basically just the rally. Yeah,
and it was honestly not great, to be honest. Like I said, it felt like a run-on sentence, and it was, and I talked a little bit about this at the end of the reaction, because we're not doing a ton of talking at the end of the reaction now for obvious reasons, because here is what Vox is doing. Once again, let's bring it up from the Be Evil With Us, or whatever the heck that song was, Bad With Us. They weren't paying attention to him until he did something about Alistair. So everybody thought he was full of shit and didn't listen to him the whole time. And now because he has Alistair, now that he's important. So it's one of those things where if they weren't listening to him before, and what Alistair was telling him, like, well, so what are you bringing to the table besides noise? What is he bringing to the table? Nothing. So at the end of the day, are you really going to follow this guy into war? It's one of those things where it's just like, you got to stop listening to the propaganda and the over-sensationalism that people use in media, and just look at something yourself and go, that sounds like a really, really stupid idea. How do you propose to go to war with heaven without a ton of angelic weaponry? What Carmine was able to get Charlie and the cannibals at the end of season 1 was probably the majority of angelic steel they had on hand. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and Carmilla turned him down.
Yeah, she told him to get bent, basically. She told him and his maracas to get out. Though apparently nobody was a fan of the maracas, so I mean, though to be fair, a lot of the sinners, including Baggy, are of Spanish orientation, So
well, Baggy's weird because from everything we know, the exorcists are heaven-born, but for whatever reason, she's Hispanic.
Yeah, which whatever, that doesn't really matter. But it's just one of those things where you look at it and go, okay, you know how to rile up the crowd and hype up a crowd. What's the actual plan? Yeah, let's conquer heaven. How are we doing it? You know what I mean? Where's your plan? Where's anything? You know what I mean? Yeah, we're just going to do it. Really? We're just going to go do it. Just go out and get it? Okay.
But yeah, in general, yeah, of the freaking power dynamic of the V's, Vox is basically just the face.
Yeah.
Velvet is the actual, like, one who holds everything together with her freaking media shenanigans and her very strong power and influence base. And then Valentino is the muscle, in that he has the most soul contracts, and friggin' basically everyone is connected to Valentino in some way in all of Pentagram City.
Yeah. So, again, at a certain point, once you got like there and we got to the rally, it was very run on. Obviously, we had the heaven side of stuff when they were like deciding to do gift baskets. I mean, I'm honestly surprised that loot went at all. You know what I mean? I understand why she's in that meeting. Okay? Now, when you circle back around to everything that doesn't make sense for heaven right now, where are the rest of the archangels? Sarah's war council, or just council in general, are people who should not be at that table. Except for Emily and maybe Abel. You know what I mean? That room needs to be filled with the other archangels, not whatever the misfit bunch of people that she had there. You know what I mean?
I mean, Loot being there does still make sense in that she's technically Abel's second in command, and also she's the only one who actually has experience dealing with hell out of them.
Which again, it's fine that she was there, but it's
even if she is clearly biased, but she's the only one who actually has experience dealing with hell.
Yeah, but again, it's just one of those things where I know it's a more of a overarching storyboard process. You know what I mean? To introduce like other characters such as like the other archangels and stuff like that. But for something as serious as this is like getting together the freaking B team.
Yeah.
So it's just like, so we're not gonna get somebody more important involved because, and I guess we'll talk about this now. Everything from Sarah's confession, the speaker was basically telling her, hey, this is your job. I'm not your freaking Game Informer guide on how to, deal with hell. You know what I mean? She was looking for literal counsel on what to do. She wanted to be told what to do, and the speaker basically told her, I can't do that. That's your job. You have to figure it out. You know what I mean? What did you do yesterday? Yeah, you screwed up yesterday. You have to fix it tomorrow by making a better or different choice. You know what I mean? Sarah doesn't seem to want to make decisions. That's her problem. She's afraid that she's going to mess up again. Can't think that way. So in this case, she needs better counsel.
Yeah.
So you can't have a council like St. Peter, who that's not his job, so he's already out of it. You know what I mean? Abel is a perennial fence sitter, so that's not helping either. You know what I mean? Loot obviously wants to go in one direction, so at least we know that she's on one side of it, so at least that's something. Emily is on the other side of that, so you're still here. You know what I mean? You're still balanced out at the end of the day. Nothing has been accomplished with the B Team Council here. Literally nothing.
Yeah, and then once again, Loot is the only one who actually has any experience dealing with hell.
Yeah. At the end of the day, they really probably should have forced Lilith to show up and talk about this. Just saying.
Yeah, we still don't know what's up with her, but apparently Sarah is aware that she's there.
Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff that doesn't add up right now. I'll just leave it at that. You know what I mean? It's one of those, well, wait till the third act kind of deals. Because while it might look weird and just kind of out of place now, it might make sense later. So we'll give it a minute. Or a season or something. Just have to see. But as it stands, from like an objective standpoint of what's going on, maybe not storyboard wise, Sarah needs better counsel. It's just that simple. She needs the other archangels to just get in here and just be like, hey, so what do you guys think we should do about this? Because where have you been?
The archangels, the other seraphim, something.
Yeah, something. Just because, again, she's accomplishing nothing. She has Emily and Loot on opposing sides, and Abel's a fence sitter. And as was stated by Penchus himself, he's not really a hell expert. He just kind of lived in Pentagram City and was an inventor and had his, rivalry with Cherry, and that's it. It's not like he's a Goetian or one of the princes or something that can have like some insight in on this or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, this is exactly what bad counsel looks like. So, yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those things where you look at it from the outside and go, well, what is she supposed to do about it? She's going to have to make a choice at some point. She did kind of make a choice at the rally here by getting angry, but that is what it is. But once again, the major bit of this episode was Alistair here sowing discontent, because you could see that Valentino was already, kind of trending in that direction of, I have vision, what are you talking about?
Yeah, Valentino has been kind of chafing under Vox for a while now. Like, he's mostly just puts up with them because they're in a relationship.
Yeah.
But, like, Vox very frequently belittles him and down-talks him and just all sorts of just grating behavior towards him.
Yep. So, either way, this entire rally here just comes down to you have Lucifer, who is not a people person. He doesn't want to show up in public. So you can't have a person who's like a shut-in go up against a freaking spin doctor that's the media guy. You're going to lose. And if you can't actually smite him, like I said during the episode there, I was like, maybe you can break his stuff, but still, it's just, what was he supposed to do there?
I mean, he technically could smite him. The thing is, he would just regenerate, because it has to be actual angelic power or angelic weaponry in order to permanently kill a sinner.
Yeah.
And Lucifer's power isn't angelic anymore. It's been demonic.
Yeah. So, in the classic South Park fashion, where is he supposed to go? Detroit? Just in case anybody's wondering, like if, say, Vox went over into the crowd and, cut somebody in half, whoever that sinner was, they would eventually regenerate because they didn't destroy their soul. He just destroyed the manifestation of their body in hell. Eventually, they're just going to come back because, once again, where are they going to go? Detroit?
Yeah, the only way you actually destroy a sinner is, once again, with angelic magic or weaponry, in which case their soul is just outright erased and stops existing. Unless, like in Pench's case, they redeemed their sin, in which case they go to heaven.
Right. So, either way, this was a hard counter to Lucifer and everything that he could possibly do. Not a huge public speaker, and you're going up against arguably the best spin doctor that we have in hell at the moment, because that's literally his job. That's what he does. He's the embodiment of that. So,
which, once again, also Lucifer, is a total shut-in. He's been down here for like 10,000 years, but from the beginning, he's just always delegated all the work to freaking Satan and Lilith, and never really actually used his position as king of hell at all. So when he comes out here and actually starts trying to flaunt his position, everyone's just kind of like, the hell?
And you are? It's like your name carries weight, but not really. It's, like getting hit with a ton of feathers, right? Still a ton of feathers, but, still feathers.
Yeah, well, once again, like they even bring up in this whole situation here, Lilith is the one everyone actually thinks of when they think of, like, ruler of hell.
Yeah.
Because Lilith was basically the one in charge of the Pride Ring and all the sinners, whereas Satan is the one in charge of the sins.
Yep. So, yeah, I don't know. It just, again, just this whole bit here felt like a run-on sentence. There's no better way to explain that or talk it through. I will say that this right here was really funny. I appreciated this right here. Because as a fan of Red versus Blue, this was like Caboose trying to sneak away. They can't see me. I'm facing the rock.
They can't see me. I can't see them.
Yeah, exactly. That's because you're facing the rock. Again, but still probably, again, the weakest episode so far. It was still okay. Like, there was still some comedy, like the stuff at the beginning with Charlie trying to get Emily's attention, which apparently they could see the whole time.
Yeah, we know that they are capable of observing basically anything in hell.
Yeah. So
they just most of the time choose not to.
Yeah. So that kind of answers anybody's question of like, yeah, they can sit here and see stuff, and it's like, well, then how do they not know about Vox? It's, well, they're not watching hell all the time. You know what I mean? So this was just one of those things where it was probably to the extent of they were able to feel that Charlie was trying to get their attention. So this thing
Emily, probably this whole time, Emily's just been trying to convince Sarah to go see Charlie. So, which is why they were checking in on Charlie.
Yeah.
Because she's probably been harassing Sarah to actually go talk to Charlie ever since she went down to go talk to Charlie herself.
Right. Because let's not forget, during the trial or whatever that was in the first season, where Charlie and Baggy went up there, they were able to just look in on Angel Dust and what he was doing in that club. So they were able to just zero in on him. So they can probably zero in on any soul, but in this case, it was just Charlie. But they can do it to anybody. But once again, they're probably not just sitting there watching Hell's TV. You know what I mean? So it's
yeah, no, the only person that we know of that like actually was fairly attentive and keeping a track of what was going on in Hell was Adam.
Yeah. Which
was largely due to his obsession with Hell.
Yeah. But either way, again, I mentioned this one before too, as well as like characters like Vox doing what they're doing is like one of the things that like grinds my gears the most, and it's portrayed very well. I'm not saying that they didn't portray Vox as what he's supposed to be. It just irritates me that people buy into stuff like Vox. So when I see it, even in fiction, it's just like, so we're doing this? Damn it.
Yeah, it is worth noting that Vox is probably pretty damn strong right now because of the whole thing of the way the Overlords work is basically the more support they get, the stronger they become. The more souls they have on contract, the more people that are siding with them, like the actual, in a way, they function a lot like cognitive gods in Persona, where like the more people believe in them, the stronger they get.
Right. And you gotta appreciate the symbolism right here. He literally turned Seraphim's form back onto her.
Mm.
Impressive. But, it will be interesting to see how this is handled, how we move on from here, what Alistair's gonna do besides sow discontent, that kind of thing, the stuff that Age brought up at the beginning there.
Well, so my initial speculation on his plan is wrong, obviously. However, one of the reasons why I bring up the whole power thing is not only just because of this big display here, however, because of the fact that he's putting Fox into a position of forcing Rosie's hand. Because once again, their deal is Alistair has to be the strongest sinner in hell. So if Vox is getting stronger than him, Rosie's going to have to step in to correct that.
Right. So, lawyer jargon? You know what I mean? Did she promise him to be the strongest sinner in hell for the rest of time, or just right then when he landed there? You know what I mean? Are we arguing semantics? Do we have to be super specific?
Well, no, it seems like their deal is still in effect, because once again, like when he was talking with her, the whole thing of like, she specifically iterates that like the deal was to make him the strongest sinner in hell, and he still is.
Yeah.
But if Vox gets stronger than him, then he won't be.
Yeah. But, terminology.
Which once again, that whole line also implies that Rosie isn't a sinner, because she's clearly stronger than him.
Right. So, yeah, I don't know. It was what it was, It had certain points that were important, but the majority of it was just a propaganda war by Vox that is relatively annoying to watch, not gonna lie. Because anytime I see that kind of crap in real life, I just look at it and go, yeah, and how are you going to accomplish this? 95% of the time, they never have an answer. Because they're just there to rally the crowd. It's like, so you have zero plan, so why should I support you exactly?
Yeah, once again, they need the angelic weaponry to actually be able to fight back. Which some people could probably try to argue, like, oh, they'll just loot more as they attack heaven. But once again, they have no way of getting there. And then also, angelic magic works on them just as well as weaponry. So they could just not use angelic weaponry that they could potentially steal and only use angelic magic to kill them.
Yeah, let's not forget. How did Pentious get blown up? Oh, that's right. Adam just kind of bopped him with his magic. He didn't swing his freaking guitar at his face. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, it's just one of those things. But, again, where's Vox's plan? What, like, as Alistair said, what are you exactly bringing to the table besides noise? This is just noise. Yes, it riles people up and gets them to want to try to do something, but it's just, again, what are you going to fight with, and how are we getting there? You know, are we going to get the boys from South Park to build you guys a ladder to heaven, or what?
Yeah, I mean, in Vox's own words, when the other V's questioned him on it, that's just semantics.
Yeah, it's semantics. Really? That's semantics to you?
But yeah, no, like,
we're going to the moon. How are we getting there? Doesn't matter.
Yeah, they probably would have had a reasonable chance at least getting something started if Carmilla sided with them. But once again, Carmilla didn't side with them, and she's the one who freaking has all of the angelic weaponry.
The two most important overlords didn't side with them. Zestial, who's been around the longest, and Carmilla, who has everything warlike on tap. She's what was she? She's a arms supplier, right? She's an arms dealer.
She's an angelic arms dealer. She has basically got a monopoly on angelic weaponry.
Yeah. So the rest of those overlords, I won't say they're irrelevant, but you know, you're probably losing. You probably don't have about 80 to 90% of your overall power that you could if you're just going with overlords. You know what I mean? Zestial still is around, but you know, he's going to be more important than any of the other randos that Vox picked up, and Carmilla would be, you know, your arm supplier. What are you going to do without that? What are you going to do without wisdom and knowledge and equipment? Because Zestial could maybe know a way of how to get there. You know what I mean? Same thing on the side of Carmilla, that kind of thing. But without those two things, you are severely lacking in preparedness.
Yeah, I mean, in general, from what we know, sinners, it's almost impossible for sinners to really traverse the different realms. Like, they can't even leave the Pride Ring, and winners can't leave heaven. But of all the overlords, the only one who showed any sign of being able to do even remotely close to that is Rosie, and she also didn't side with them.
Yep. And from what we speculate, and is more than likely true, is she's not a sinner. She's a demon. She's probably a denizen of one of the other rings. Pick whatever one you feel like. You know what I mean?
She's most likely either Rue or one of Rue's minions.
Yeah. So, there you have it.
From everything we know, Rue is, which is not a lot, just that Rue is supposed to be one of the bigger villains of the series, and that she's most likely a primordial demon like Satan, one of the original demons who were created with hell.
Right. So, either way, just some stuff to think about. And as to why we're bringing all that stuff up, if none of that is explained and they just derp their way up to heaven or something, I'm calling shenanigans. I'm going to call Officer Barbrady and declare shenanigans. Okay?
I'm going to call semantics.
Yep. They can't just do that. You know what I mean? It has to make sense, especially with all the lore and stuff they built up for the world. You know what I mean? It'd be one thing if it wasn't there, but they strictly pointed out the rules. You'd bop them over the head with the Fairly Odd Parents rulebook. You know what I mean? There's another reference for you. But anyway, that's all I got. Anything else, Age?
Not really for this one, I don't think.
Great. I will say, right there at the end, is it was interesting to see that Penchis had to be the one consoling Emily, so the tables have turned on that one.
Yeah.
Hilarious. Gotta appreciate that kind of, just the little things like that. Because like I said, a lot of the background stuff what was still going on. Again, there were some comedic moments in this and important things and just like random little aside things that were there. But again, the majority bulk of this that was the meat of the episode was the run-on sentence. That was just kind of whatever, you know?
Well, yeah, once again, like, Emily's job is to be basically the tour guide for heaven. But she specifically made it her point to actually try to be friends with Penchis. So they're just kind of establishing that it is actually a thing, and it is going both ways, not just a one-sided thing for her.
Right. So, anyway, that being said, we're going to roll out of this one and immediately watch the next one, because we have to. We'll see you guys tomorrow for that. But we got to go record that now. So, everybody, YouTube, have a good morning, evening, afternoon, whatever it is for you. Have a good one, and we'll see you next time.
Hey everyone, Victoria here. If you enjoyed the video, please consider pushing those like and subscribe buttons. Your support is greatly appreciated. Thanks again for your time, and we hope to see you again in the future.